Good morning, McGee. I am so glad to have Brad White with me today. Brad is running for Chancery Clerk in Simpson County. And I've known Brad for years, and so it was interesting to me to see that he was going to go after this position. But you're not a stranger to Simpson County, and your roots are deep here, and you've been very much involved with politics all over the state. But what I want to know, who really is Brad White?
Well, I think pretty much what you see is what you get, but like most everyone else from around here, I was born here. My family goes back before the 1900s here. I was fortunate enough to be able to purchase the home that I grew up in from my parents out in the Jupiter community. I still live there, go to church there, same church that my great-grandfather grew up in. In fact, it was a school there back when he was a child that he attended. So Simpson County has always been home for me, and as far as I'm concerned, always will. But I've been involved in different organizations around the county since I was 14 years old, from the Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Foundation, to the Hunting Dog Association, to serving on boards from the Simpson General Hospital Board to the Human Resource Agency Board, and I could just bore you with the list of those. But it's always been important to me to contribute back to Simpson County, and I believe that we have a lot of potential here and a lot of opportunity for growth to give back to our citizens, and also just to be a rising star in our state. And that's something I've dedicated my life to, and I just see this next venture as hopefully just a continuation of that.
Of course, you know, I would think it's interesting that you moved in your own family home, because that's right where we are, in my own family home. So that means that you are a person that believes in the past and the deep roots that come with it. Most of you in the audience know that Brad has worked on, maybe we could call it a higher level in the political scene in the state of Mississippi for probably about the past 20 years now. Long?
Been involved 20 years.
Been involved about 20 years. I knew it had been in a while. I thought maybe you would seek a higher office. And I was surprised, I'll have to tell you truthfully, I was surprised when you announced for Chancery Clerk. Why did you choose Chancery Clerk?
Well, first of all, I'll go back to my commitment to Simpson County. I mean, there's no place like home, and home's where the heart is. And even during the time that I've served in various positions around the state and even at the national level, I mean, home's still been Simpson County. It's still where I slept, still where I went to church, still where I shopped and ate and all those type things.
So you never really left Simpson County is kind of what you're saying, even when you worked in Jackson.
That's correct. Yeah, this has been home all the time. So like I say, the same place where I grew up. But I've served at state and national levels positions, I guess you'd say, when I was state chairman of the Republican Party, and then when I was on the national Republican committee, and then served on some advisory boards under the Bush administration and different things like that. But you know, there's just something about being home. There's something about what it does for your heart and what it does for your mind, and frankly what it does for your motivation when you're working to build up something that you see around you. And when you're working with people that you grew up with, people that you're related to and you went to school with and you have prayed with at church and just done all of those things. I mean, I've had the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity I had to serve as state chairman and on the national level. But as I say, I've done that, and I've been there, and it comes at a price, and this just seems like a better fit for me, because I think there's very few offices that can affect Simpson County like the Chancery Clerk, with maybe the exception of the collective Board of Supervisors.
You know, that's interesting to me, because I didn't think about, you know, I think so often we think of people that are trying to just move away, not go off and come back. And of course, I'm one of these that's not leaving Simpson County. But it's interesting to me that Brad, that is something that he pointed out, that I didn't think about how much your being out in the world brings back to you of ways that you would have the knowledge to help the people of Simpson County more, because you do know what's out there. You do know the things that are available. You have worked at a national level. You know, it's not just something that you have been right here in your neighborhood forever. Yes, you've lived there, but you've worked outside of the box, which I think would bring so much to a campaign. You know, and to your
I would hope so. I mean, I think the Bible is full of examples of where God used people and put them through different experiences that in the end could be used for building up and accomplishing one specific purpose. And I believe that due to the past that he's allowed me to travel and the things that he's allowed me to do, that I'm uniquely qualified for this office. You know, it's real popular for politicians to say that government should run like a business. But the fact of the matter is government doesn't operate like a business. But this is one office that really can, because it's operated by and large by fees and money that comes into the office. And then at the end of the year, if a profit is made, then that money goes back to the county and can be used for different things. However, I do believe that the system that we operate under is somewhat antiquated and archaic. I believe that there's some improvements that could be made, that have been made in other counties, that would allow us to make a more efficient office and to bring more money back to Simpson County for things such as law enforcement and roads and other things like that. Back in the 70s, at one time the tax assessor and the sheriff were all one office, and they operated under the fees and things just like the Chancery Clerk's office did. And the legislature, in their wisdom, determined to separate the two offices and allow all the revenue generated by those offices through tags and fines and tickets and things like that to come back to the county, and the county budget back out and set those positions on salaries. That's what I think should happen to this office. But until the legislature determines to do that, there's still opportunities that the clerk has to institute his own system within there. For example, there's a Chancery Clerk in the Pine Belt area that determined that it would be best for his county if he go ahead and retire, but under our system continue to run for Chancery Clerk, serve as Chancery Clerk, but not receive a single cent for the money that he's making due to the fact that he's eligible for retirement.
Okay, so you're saying that this Chancery Clerk is using his retirement to keep himself going and not calling back on the county.
That's correct. To give you some numbers to look at and just show you, and this is all legal and many clerks do it, but just to give you some numbers to show you the problem with the system, is that the revenue of this Chancery Clerk's office in Simpson County from 2004 to 2010, and don't take my word for it, I got all this from the state auditor's office that does these reports. From 2004 to 2010, the revenue has been over $2.1 million. Well, under the current system, the current Chancery Clerk, our incumbent, has taken home with him in personal pay 40% of those monies, while 5% remained in the county coffers, and the remaining 55% was used to operate the office, to pay the deputy clerks, to buy office supplies, and do things like that. And I just simply think that that's why it's legal and while it's what the law allows, I don't think it's in the county's best interest. And I believe that if I'm elected, that what I plan on doing is going in and entering into agreement with the supervisors where I waive my right to a lot of these fees and set myself on a salary equal to the tax assessor, rather than 50% higher than what other courthouse officials are making. And then I believe in making cuts to the budget, from examples of not purchasing brand new furniture and not purchasing, uniforms for the clerks to wear and doing things of that nature, that we can leave more money here in the county. Because what happens is the more money that office can save and turn back over to the county, the more money that the supervisors have then to put on other items that they may have, like law enforcement, roads, and things of that nature.
I think this tells you a lot about who Brad White is, and we're going to have a part 2, and he's going to give you some more information about how he feels like our county Chancery Clerk can be run differently. Thank you, and good morning, McGee.